Desiree, and today I'm going to show you how to change out your canopy clips on your Zoom360 jogging stroller. First thing you're going to need are a couple of little tools, just a regular screwdriver. I have one that kind of helps you turn, and then you need a socket wrench or some kind of wrench. This is an 8mm one, and it's going to come in super handy, but if you only have just a regular wrench, that's fine too. I also use a hex key. So the first thing that we're going to do is make sure that you have your canopy open. We're going to want to access where these canopy clips attach to the ribs for the canopy. So there's two screws right here and here. So we're going to take those off real quick. Do I have it the right way? And I don't. Okay, and then the next step, you're actually going to want to make sure that you have undone these little snaps on the side. It'll help you access this part of the canopy clip a lot easier. So there's two on the bottom, there's two more on the top here, and you can just fold that material kind of out of your way and underneath so you can access this little nut here. On the other side is another Phillips head screw. So what I'm going to do is use my screwdriver. I'm going to put that in there. And this is where this is going to come in super handy, because if you try to unscrew this without holding on to this nut, it's just going to spin. So this is just to keep it from spinning. So you can start unwrenching it until you feel it slide. So there's going to be a plate, and then the little nut came off. Make sure there's a spring in here, so all this is going to want to bounce out. So you want to kind of keep some tension on there so it doesn't fully come apart. And then that's when this little hex key is going to come in handy. So once you have that screw or that nut and plate off, you can use a hex key or something small to get in that hole and push the screw the rest of the way out, making sure that you're holding on to everything so it doesn't fall apart on you. So once you get that out, on the back side here, you'll just separate it and bring it out from around the frame of the stroller. So when it comes off, it's going to look like this. And then you'll have the little plate and nut, and that's how you remove the canopy clip. So now I'm going to show you how to reinstall your canopy clip. If you had one shipped to you, it should come already with the plate and this little nut attached. This is usually how we ship them. You don't want to take this apart the way that it is, because we ship them exactly how they need to go back on the stroller. The only thing you need to remove is this little nut right here, and then the plate right here. Okay, so I'm going to set those aside. The rest of it are going to stay together. And again, there's a spring in here with the screw that goes through. And also, if you're unsure on which side is what, on the inside here, it's upside down, it's going to have an R, and on the other one, it'll have an L. If you can't see it, that's okay. The way that these go on, the two protruding parts of the canopy clip are going to the outside of the stroller. So when you're ready to put it back on, you're going to want to push this screw kind of out of the way, being careful to try to keep everything as together as possible. Okay, so you're going to find the hole that's pre-drilled into the frame. And then you're going to, make sure this is out the way, snap it around the frame, and then adjust it to where the hole is in the middle. Here it is, down here. There we go. So then you're going to feed the screw through, that's outer screw, So it might take a little finagling. There we go. And I'm going to push these up. But once you get it in, there you go. So the screws, or the end of the screw is going to come out a little bit. So I'm squeezing with my thumb here, keeping the tension on that spring. Okay. And then you're going to put the plate on. So the plate, and make sure the screw goes through the plate. There we go. Okay. And then I'm going to just start to thread it with, or thread this nut back on with my fingers. It helps if you have little fingers or someone to help you do this part while you squeeze, but you can start to thread it on. Then you're going to take your screwdriver and put it in the end of the screw. And then again, we're going back with our little wrench. So this is just to hold that nut in place. And then we're going to tighten it down. You don't want to over tighten it, you just want a good bit of resistance. Over tightening it will keep these from moving properly. But once you get that part on, so it's all good and tight on there, once you get that part on, you're going to put the ribs, the canopy ribs, into these little holes. So there's also going to be pre-drilled holes into these canopy ribs. So you're going to want to line them up so the screw goes in the little hole. You can start threading that on with your fingers. I'm going to do the same with the other one. There it is. You start with your fingers, and then you're going to take your screwdriver and finish the rest. Okay, so once you get it on, you're going to want to open and close it a couple times, the canopy. Kind of feed it back and forth, make sure everything's moving right and it doesn't feel too tight. If it feels too tight, you can always loosen this screw. If it feels too loose, you can always tighten it. And then once you're done there, you'll re-snap the fabric back around the frame to cover this up. And that's how you change your canopy clips.